Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you all are doing good. Great, superb. Right, so before we begin the session, I would like to ask you guys. I hope you all are able to see my screen and hear my voice. Just type yes in your chat box. I hope I'm audible to everyone and you guys are able to see my screen. Just type yes in your chat box. Okay, great, great. Nice. So good to hear that and welcome you all again. And let's begin with the session today. Right. So moving ahead with that, let's begin with the session in just 1 second. There is some issue. Just restart your webinar if you're facing some issues. Okay. Right. So yep. So let's begin with the session. In our last session, we discussed about a few things which are important when we are doing SEO, right? We discussed about multiple things, and before we begin, most of you guys like are waiting for the recordings. I know that. So because they are converting, I request so you guys can see this. It's like it takes time to get convert. So for the time being, when it's done, I'll be able to share it with you guys, right? So that might also delay your assignments as well. I know that, but it's not in my hand, right? But I will request you all that please complete your assignments as well, right? So who all have completed the assignments? Just type
So in
I.
assignments,
uh,
you told us to do the quiz, right?
right.
Then after quiz, there are another, I think, two, three more pages or something. So
Okay.
that also needs to be done. And how?
Yes, there are assignments like it's divided into steps, right? So you have to complete that as well. It's included in that.
Okay, I think, but full topics were not covered. What's mentioned in those assignment couldn't understand
Okay, no
those
problem. We'll
ones.
be covering that. Don't worry about that, right? So there are one or two elements which were left. We will be covering that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all right. And I request you all, please just type in chat box because it might create some disturbance in between. You can just ask me that you are unmuting yourself. I request everyone, right? Right. So let's start with the session. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Right. So let's begin with the session where we left last week. Uh, right. Mind map. I'll pick up. Just ask your queries in between the query session itself. I request again, like anything related to topic or off topic. I'll happy to help related to digital marketing only. I'll Okay, so okay, don't worry. I'll pick that in query session. So let me just complete the topics. Then I take the query session every time. You guys know that, right? So don't worry. Just take hold of all your questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Just wait for the query session, and we'll be picking all the issues or maybe some concerns or queries in the query session. Don't worry. I'll be happy to help you all, right? Yep. So now let's begin with the session where we left, and let's start with what we have like completed last week. We understood about multiple aspects. It's the base of SEO. We understood about that, the on page and off page optimization. We had a great introduction about that. And after that, we also analyzed how you'll be able to fetch out the keywords for your on page optimization thing, right? So I told you a couple of things which helps you in getting the required keyword, getting the basic keyword knowledge of for each and every page will be which or for which you will be doing the on page SEO, right? So what you guys need to figure out over here is the keyword thing is really very crucial in your SEO journey, right? If you're picking the wrong keyword, you won't be able to do your SEO thing in a better way, right? So today we'll be covering how and what all other elements apart from on page and off page optimization. It's basically a part of on page. We'll be starting with on page optimization, how and what all things are important in on page, and apart from just content and apart from just keyword, what all things needs to be taken care of when you are doing on page optimization. We'll be understanding that and we'll be executing each and everything tomorrow, right, in tomorrow's class, followed by in other classes as well, right? So let's first understand what are the basic and the advanced level of SEO things which are important when you have to bifurcate each and everything and you have to take care. So I'm just writing down each and everything, what all things are important. I'll be making sure that you guys understand that as well, like what I'm talking about and what all important aspects you have to make a checklist of those aspects before starting your SEO, right? So it's not just only we are doing SEO, there are multiple things which are integrated and you have to take care of them as well, be it a website, be it your hosting, be it your content. There are other things which are important as well, right? So let's begin with this. So today's agenda will be, we'll be discussing about the on page SEO. We'll be discussing about, I'll just write it down, right? So on page SEO, then we'll be discussing about some content related things which are important in SEO, and we'll be also moving ahead with basic on page elements which are important, which will be implementing practically later on, right? So everything which I'm discussing, these are the base. If you are not ready with that, you won't be able to execute practically on your website, right? So we will be understanding about that. Then after that we'll be understanding about the internal and external links which are important in your on page, which you have. They basically, this is a part of your content, but we categorize this separately. And we'll be also understanding about how Google will analyze the crawling process, right? So how, as we discussed about the crawling process last week, what exactly Google does, they come to our website, they crawl, they store, then they index the data, and then they rank the data online, right? Right, we'll be also understanding what things you should put in and what thing you should have to avoid in your SEO related thing, right? So these are some basic things which are important for your on page SEO, which you have to execute before in hand when you start this thing, right? So basically, on page is just an art, or you can say a science of optimizing your website both internally and externally so that it ranks higher in our organic results. But what exactly is on page SEO? Let's understand that, right? So I'll just shift it over here and let's understand what exactly is on page optimization. So to begin with, there are basically multiple aspects which you need to take care of. But out of those things, three main aspects which are the integral part of your SEO are is content. First thing, which is super important in SEO, is content. If your content is not good and you are doing SEO in a proper way, then you won't be able to like succeed, right? So these are like hand in hand and you have to do it on like back to back, right? There is no option related to that. Your content has to be amazing, but what is inside the content thing, I'll be bifurcating it as well, right? So talking about the content part first, let's understand what all things needs to be taken care of when you are like analyzing content for your website. The first important thing which you need to take care of is the cluster of your pages, right? So clusters are the super duper important thing when you are analyzing this. What do I mean by content clusters? So I basically compare it with two types of model. One is hub page and second one is spoke page, right? So what do I mean by hub page? We'll be understanding that. So hub pages and spoke pages. So these are the two important things which come under the content cluster part. What is a hub page? I'll take an example over here so that you understand in a better way. So let's say I have one blog related to, let's say, fashion, right? So this is the category, this is the main page which I have. This is known as the hub page, which has plenty of options inside that particular category, or you can call it a page, right? So and what exactly is spoke page? Maybe I have a category like 10 things to wear in summers, right? So this is a spoke page inside this fashion category. Or maybe I type something like, right, who is the best fashionista? So it could be anything, right? So I'm just writing down. So I have a blog related to fashion. This is the main category, which is fashion. This is the hub page. And these are the things which I have mentioned over here, which is who is the best fashionista and the 10 things to wear in summers is your spoke pages, right? And the links which are connecting these two from from via fashion is your hyperlink, right? So one, when someone clicks on fashion page, they get to see this page which is a spoke page, and this page which is related to fashionista, and this is also a spoke page. So what I'm trying to depict over here, we need to create a central page that acts as a hub page for the content cluster, right? And several pages, like you can say spoke pages, that are related to the central hub page. So this is basically a model which is being approved by every search engine, and this is basically a hierarchy which you guys have to follow. You can't land the user directly to this spoke page. You have to like bifurcate the user. You have to create a main page, central page, and then you have to bifurcate the user. And it goes with everything, be it a page, be it a blog, right? So you have to do this thing with each and everything, or each and every page or blog on your website, right? So this is the first thing which I mentioned over here, which is the content cluster part, right? I hope I am clear with this. The content cluster, just type yes in your chat box. Okay, I hope, are you there? Type yes in your chat box. Superb, great, great, great. So this is the first important part which I told you. The second important part, what exactly is there apart from this cluster? The second important part is your page quality. So what is page quality? From the name you can see what exactly is page quality. It is basically a rating given by search engines, right? So there are some guidelines which are being created by Google for search quality evaluation and to rate the pages on search engine results page, right, which we call SERP. So the best page which meets all the requirements, they categorize it into FM, fully M, you can call it fully M, which means, so it's a basic, it's the topmost ranking thing, topmost ranking category which applies to certain results, which fully meets all the requirement of search engine, right? If your page is fully meeting all the things, then you are the fully M. Basically your rating is good in layman language, right? Then if you are like in between, or maybe you are just doing moderate, it categorized under HM, which is highly means, right? Maybe you are less fulfilling all the terms, and you are just above the average. So you will be coming under the category which is HM. Then there is the third category which is MM, which is the moderate meets. So you are on an average, right? Your website is on an average, your pages are on average, they are meeting all the needs, but they are in between everything, right? Then comes your SM is slightly meets, it's just below the average. You are fulfilling things but not up to the mark which Google or any other search engine needs. And lastly but not the least, it's false meets, right? Which is false M. So basically false M is, no, when a page or when a category or when a search engine is not able to meet the things, right? So then it is like falsely meet. They are not able to like make the clusters, or the content or the other things are not being qualified. So these are some structure which are super important. And when search engine categorize you, they when they are like putting you on the first page, they are ranking you on the first page, they see all the stuff, right? If you're not doing in a proper way, then it will be a loss for you as well, right? So we also call this rating. There are some categories which are being banned, or you can call not banned exactly, I would say Google checks them thoroughly, right? They check each and every content over there, what type of content you are pushing, they check each and everything, that are you doing it in a proper way. So I'll tell you few categories. So for example, we usually call them, so it comes under page quality only. I'll just remove this one, just hold on, let me just remove this. Yep. Yeah, so they also come in this category only, page quality category, which is your YMYL pages, right? We call this category YMYL pages. So these are basically nothing, these are the category, which means I'll list down what all business or what all categories come under this. So usually the major platform or major business which come under this is shopping business. If you are having an e-commerce store, then Google will check your website thoroughly, right? Are you performing each and everything? So these are couple of companies or couple of businesses I'm listing down here. If you are doing any of these, then you have to do SEO in a proper way. Otherwise, because Google has, you can call it a extra add-on checklist, which Google checks on these web pages if everything is happening or not. Why shopping? Apart from that, what all things are there? Because what happens in a shopping website, in an e-commerce website, any web page of your website which allows a user to make the payment, purchase, transfer money, or pay bills, or submit their payment information, falls under this category, right? So any transaction related website, they Google checks it thoroughly. So shopping is one of them. Anything related to something like financial information, or maybe some advice related pages, they are also crucial, because Google does not want a false advice from any website. Because anyone who is coming to Google expects from that particular website is that everything is concrete, every information should be true, it should be relevant, it should not be irrelevant. So if a web page offers some advice or services that helps a user to navigate, maybe manage their finances, or maybe they are like something related to fund for anything, retirement planning, investments, or taxes, or maybe any major financial decision, this type of category or business also is in the limelight, right? So advice related, anything related to medical, again it's a very serious business. Medical, anything maybe medical information, you are giving something on your website, just a blog, or it could be anything. Just like people nowadays are like talking about masks, sanitizers, and every stuff, right? So when you are running the advertisements part on Google or any social platform, they ban these services, right? If you're providing these, because they are not allowing any medical related thing like PPE kit or something like that to promote, to get promoted by, or maybe any thing related to medical. So these web pages that go beyond maybe standard medical conditions, or maybe some pharmaceuticals advice, or maybe something related to general health, or maybe drugs, or maybe some specific disease or condition, Google checks them thoroughly, right? And anything, lastly but not the least, anything related to legal, right? So any financial thing, basically any legal information, maybe it might include something like something related to divorce, or maybe child custody, or personal injury, or creating a will. Google check these things thoroughly, because they might like procrastinate any particular identity, or maybe something related to that might happen. So Google, when if you are doing something out of this category, you have to make sure you are doing SEO in a proper way, otherwise Google might ban your thing, or maybe they are not ranking your platform, right? So you have to like take this in mind. You have to think of the page quality, you have to think of the ratings before you proceed, because if these things are not in a proper way, then doing SEO just on your website won't make any sense, right? So I also call this rating thing eat strategy, right? What do I understand by eat strategy? Just 1 second, I'll tell you. So one thing which Google or any other search engine has recommended is this strategy. Don't think that I feel like you might be feeling hungry, but it is not nowhere related to food, right? So E stands for expertise. And what is expertise? Maybe you are giving some formal expertise, or maybe as a doctor, you are providing some medical content. You should give your expertise on your website. So these are the content thing which I am telling you, which you guys have to create, right? So whatever expertise you have, whatever benefits you provide to your audience, you have to mention this in the expertise page. Maybe it could be a bio about, or maybe an about us page, or maybe anything related about maybe to an for an individual, or maybe for a company. So expertise is the first thing which search engine checks, that are you mentioning any awards or accolades, or maybe any content which makes a slight difference, or maybe a slight uniqueness about you as an individual or a company, right? Then the second thing, A stands for authoritativeness. So what is authoritativeness? Let me just write it down first. Right, so what is authoritativeness? Any inside information about your platform, just like some testimonials or recognitions, right? Testimonials from your customers, or maybe some feedbacks related to your customers, so that there is a base of your company, there is a authority of your company, so that search engines check that people are engaging with your platform, people are giving feedback for you, people are maybe talking about your as a brand. See how Google ranks you. It's just that they are focusing on, are you going viral or not? Are you doing something different or not? Are people liking your platform or not? They check that whether people are coming on your page or not. So this is the base thing which is super duper important, authoritativeness, which you guys have to focus in the first thing. Then lastly but not the least, which is trustworthiness, right? So So, what is trustworthiness? Basically, you give some reputable sources. For example, I'll take an example over here. Let's say I'm a digital marketer, and I got accolades from maybe Hindustan Time, right? I got some awards from any XYZ company. Are they mentioning me on their newspaper? Are they mentioning me in some ebook, or do I have some documentation related to that? So what you guys need to focus here, your you should be like trustable by the customer, or maybe by any person who is coming to your platform, right? So these are the three main strategies which helps you increase your page quality, right? So these are the important stuff which I have discussed, which you guys have to follow all the time whenever you are walking through the steps of your content. Then after that, I hope I'm clear with this page quality. Just type clear in your chat box. Clear. Clear. Clear in your chat box. Okay, super great. So you are, guys are after this. Perfect. So now what's next? Okay, Yogesh is asking, please tell about fully M. Okay, I'll tell that. Don't worry. Yes, I'll explain it again. Don't worry. Perfect. So fully M is basically if you are meeting all the terms which search engine has told us to put in the content part, right? If we are meeting each and everything, so I'll be telling you what all things are there. If we are following each and everything which a search engine has told us that you have to implement that on your website, and we are doing that in a proper way, then you fall under this fully M category, which means you are fulfilling each and everything, you are meeting fully, you are like meeting all the stuffs which Google has told us, and we are like eligible to be on the first page of Google, right? And the ym I'll okay, I'll explain all of them. So apart from that, the second category is hm, which is just below the fully M category. That means you are highly meeting what Google has told you, that these are the things which you have to implement on your website. You are just close for being on the top, and you are meeting almost each and everything, but few of the things you are not like connecting, then you come under the. So you can give the stepwise thing. So let's say fully M is the first thing. Then if you are not meeting fully, then you come on the second category, which is highly meets. You are almost close to fully M. Then after that comes your average, which you can call it moderate meet. So you're meeting like 50-50 things are done on your website, and you're not fully doing each and everything, you're on an average. Then slightly meets is something like you are just below the average, and false M means you are dead, almost dead, right? That means you are not following what needs to be done in this page quality thing. So I'll be telling you what all things are there, what all things you have to put in the content. We'll be discussing about that, but beforehand you should always understand about this. And ymyl is basically the four categories which I mentioned. If you fall under this category, if you are running an e-commerce store, if you give advice, if you give some medical related products or service, or maybe you have a blog, or maybe you give advice related to medical, or maybe something related to legal, if you are following these stuff, if you are under this category, then Google will again give a extra step check. So they will check your website again, that are you doing it in a proper way, are you doing some like research before posting your advice, before doing anything in medical sector, before like pushing your e-commerce website. So ymyl pages are extra, you can call it, these are some guide, you can call it, maybe these are some uh, special category which are being, Google is very strict related to these categories. They check the PR rating very thoroughly for these categories, right? I hope it is clear now. Okay, superb. Right. So the next thing which is important in after page quality is your content freshness. So fresh content, or you can call it topical content, anything, right? So what is fresh content? Something which, maybe let's say currently this pandemic corona is going on, and any xyz company came up with some medicine, so that is a fresh content. Topical is latest content, right, which is in trend right now. They are almost similar, you can call it either ways, right? So what is content freshness? Your content has what Google demands on any other search engine demands, that your content needs to be you can call it like, it has to be a fresh content, right? So let's say maybe your content is topical, maybe your website will, like, let's say you're creating some maybe any, you're giving some advice related to anything which is currently trending. So what you have to focus here, how you can get the content, fresh content, you have to connect with the daily things which are happening right now. Twitter is the best platform to connect with the latest news update which is happening right now. Fresh content is basically you're connecting, which is like, let's say there is a news related to this China or anything which is running right now. This is a fresh content. If you can connect with that content, then you are trending right now. So what these search engine demands, your content has to be fresh. Create pages, create maybe some create some, take the advantage of the fresh content which is live right now, right? That will boost your ranking, boost your content in real time, right? This is the demand for all the search engine. So basically what happens over here, there are, I'll be telling you certain couple of platforms which will help you get the topical content. And also there are some paid platform as well, there are some tools as well to get fresh content on your website plagiarism free, right? So I'll be telling you certain tools. So there is one of the tool, so Google also checks the duplicate content thing as well. So whether are you copying some content or not, because in every country, in everywhere in the globe, everyone is like willing to move ahead, like, why will I do this, why will I write or create content, right? Everyone is a lazy lad, and they are something like, they are not interested in creating new content, right? It is not with you guys, it is not with me, it is with everyone. This is a problem. So what people actually do, they copy the content. So you have to be plagiarism free as well. What Google or any other search engine demands, that your content should not be duplicate. 20 to 30% content is fine, because you can't change some terms. Let's say I'm talking about digital marketing, you can add synonyms to this, but you can't change the whole category. Or maybe some, you are putting the meaning has to be same, you can't change the meaning as well. So basically what you have to focus over here, your content should be plagiarism free. And there are some tools to check that. One of the tools is this one, Siteliner. This is an amazing tool which will let you know whether whether your website or any competitor's website is copying any content or not. And it gives immense amount of risk, like you can call it R&D or something like that. They give every detail about that website, the best possible, in a free, it's a free tool. I'll just share the link in the chat box as well. Let's say we are looking out for Amazon for the time being. Right, so if we scroll down, these are some broken pages, broken links. We'll be discussing about that. This is a great tool for SEO. So how many normal pages, skipped, redirect pages, robot TXT, these are some part of SEO thing. We'll be discussing it later. And over here, you can see duplicate content is 18%. So we can't skip this 18%. Real, it is not a bad sign, right? Some of the common words are common, you can't. So let's take an example. If I'm selling an e-commerce store, like I'm selling, let's say, clothing, so I can't change the shirt to a towel or maybe any other product right? So I can't change the synonyms, I can't add the synonyms to that. So some of the common elements are duplicate, but you have to check each and everything. If it's exceeding 30-40% or 50%, then it might be an alarming situation for your brand, right? So what do you guys have to focus over here? Duplicate content. This site will tell you from which page. If you click here, it will even tell you from which page you're having that duplicate content. So it's that deep, right? So you can utilize this and you can change the content of that page. And to change or to spin the content, let's say I want to spin the content, I want to make it 100% plagiarism free. No one guarantees 100% plagiarism free, but you can do that. You can spin the content with this tool, which is spinbot. I'll just share the link as well over here. Right, so it's just that it only changes the words, it only changes, may you can call it they change the synonyms part. So what happens over here, you put any content in this box and you check this robot thing and click on go, it will rewrite the content over here. Right, so easy, it's so quick that it rewrites the content. But please keep in mind that must read the rewritten text, right? It's not like that, right? You are copying and pasting it to your website. At times it might also change the meaning as well, so you must read it before copying and pasting the rewritten content over here, right? So this is also a great tool, you guys can use it in your content building thing. Right, so these are the couple of tools which you guys can use to check whether you are having a duplicate content, plagiarism content, and how to make that plagiarism free for your website. You can use these tools. Right, I hope I am clear. Just type yes in your chat box. Okay, perfect, superb, great. Okay, fine. Right, so then lastly but not the least, the last thing which is important in content is your verticals, which are important. What is verticals? So verticals are something like, do you have content that which has, like, you can say, which people can see on other verticals as well. What do I mean by other verticals? Let's say you have a business. One is you have a physical office, second you have a website, but what is the third and the fourth and the fifth option? Are you present on Google Maps? Are you present on Google My Business, which is the same thing? Are you like present on YouTube? Are you present, like, are your images there on Pinterest or Instagram? Are you coming on news or not? These are the verticals you should be present in each and every area, right? That is the motive of your SEO thing. That is the thing which Google checks, that your presence, right? Presence is, guys, I push this thing more and more in SEO. The more you are popular, the better is your ranking, right? So you have to focus on different verticals whenever you are analyzing this thing. So these are a couple of things which are important in content. Apart from that, in on page, what all things are important? Apart from content, what all things you guys need to focus? The second and the most important thing is the website code, right? Or you can call it simply HTML. So you have to take care of certain things in SEO. Whenever, let's say I'm creating a blog, I'll take an example over here. Let's say I'm creating a blog related to 10 things to do, or maybe 10 places to visit in Delhi, example, right? So am I optimizing that page? Am I optimizing that page internally and externally or not? So this comes under HTML. So for each and every page you have to follow these things whenever you are doing this SEO related, HTML related things. So what all things are there under this? So the first thing which is important over here is the title of your page. So we'll be doing this practically. I'm just walking you through all this stuff. So title is the main headline, or you can say main page title, obviously. We'll be doing it practically. I'm not digging it deeper. Just for your knowledge, you can take this thing in your mind. Then comes your description. the description about that page which you see on Google, right? A bit of slight description about uh, your content. Then are you using proper structure, or you can say, are your headings perfect? Are your content has the implications which are required, right? Then we'll be also understanding about image SEO, how you can do image SEO. You, as you go to Google, you enter some query and you get to see some images over there. Are you using it in a proper way? Are you using or performing things in a proper way or not? So that is image SEO, and you have to look into that part accordingly, right? So apart from that, lastly but not the least, the third element which you guys need to focus over here is your architecture. What is the architecture? Architecture is how you are moving ahead with the website thing, right? So before, as architecture needs, it's, you can say, the basic part of your website. It's basically the structure which you are building, and are you following it in a proper way or not? That is the website architecture, right? So what all things are important in architecture? Let's do one thing. Let's take, guys, give me like 2 to 3 minutes. Let's do one thing. Let's take a 5 minutes break. Actually, there's slight emergency. Just give me 5 minutes. You guys can also take a break. We'll extend the session for next 5 minutes, around 9:35. Right. So let's take a 5 minutes break, and then I'll explain you the whole architecture of your page. Right. So let's take a break of 5 minutes. I'll see you. It's 8:42. I'll see you in next 5 minutes. Yeah. So I hope you all are there. Just type yes in your chat box if you're able to see and hear me. Okay, superb. Right. Okay. So we were talking about the architecture thing. So what is architecture? This is again a super important thing which you guys have to focus over here. So what is the architecture? It has no relation with your content, or it has no relation with the things you are performing on your website. Architecture plays an important role. What all things are there? First thing which is important in architecture is the crawling thing, right? So just one second. Crawl. So architecture is basically how your website is being developed. What all things are important when it comes to the architecture part? What all things you need to focus over here in the architecture thing? And how Google will crawl your website? What all things they will check on your website? That is the base of your crawling. So how we like connect with this crawling part, how Google crawls our website. There is a tool which does all the action for us. We call it Webmaster Tool, right? So the tool name is Webmaster. Currently, the name is changed from Webmaster to Search Console. So Google crawls your website if you invite them to crawl our website, right? As I told you in the last lectures, that what is this crawling part? When Google is like going to each and every page and each and every link on your website to see whether you're doing each and everything which I have discussed right now or not, right? So that we can do with the help of this tool, which is called Search Console. We'll be discussing about this tool, and we'll be like understanding about this tool, how Google actually does that, right? We'll be doing it practically. So just for your knowledge, I'm just telling you right now, we'll be doing it practically, how this thing actually works, right? So before that, let's set up this Search Console thing. I hope you guys have like set up this Search Console thing in your website module. Just type yes or no in your chat box. if you have just connected this search console tool with your website. Okay. What about others? Have you set up this search console? You connected with this search console with your website? Yes or no? Okay, so most of the answers which I can see is no. Don't worry, I'll help you to set up this search console tool so that you can invite Google on your website, right? And there are multiple things which you can do over there, but the main agenda of this search console tool is invite Google to our website. You guys can check on Google whether your site is being crawled or not. Okay, no problem. Uno, don't worry, you will get the recordings, so don't have to worry about that. So I'll just give you a brief what I'm trying to say about the search console. This means you can check on Google whether your site is being crawled or not. So what you guys have to do, you have to mention this code site, then you have to mention your website over here. So I'll mention my website. So as you can see, this is one of the website. You can see Google has crawled mostly all my pages over here related to website development, e-commerce solution. So that means Google is crawling my website, right? So if nothing comes over here, and if you can without the space, you can see all the pages which you have. So without this, you have to do it without the space. Don't keep any space in between. So you get to see different pages which are there over here. If you are not having any, don't worry. That means Google has not crawled your pages. But still, if you are able to see few of the page, what Google does, they automatically crawl few of the pages. So you can do this with a tool which is called Search Console. Right, I'll be helping you practically how you can do this. Okay, so that means if your some of the pages are coming, that means few of the things are being crawled over here. Right, so I'll be telling you how you can crawl each and everything, right? Each and every page so that it is saved or stored on Google platform. So that's how this thing works. So we'll be discussing about the Search Console tool and we'll be connecting that over there here as well. Apart from that, so this was Search Console, the first thing which is important over here. So those who did not connected their Search Console, don't worry, I'll be helping you with that as well. Then the second thing comes your speed of your website. This is again the super important thing because uh, the time it takes to launch your website on the user's interface, right? So can anybody guess what should be the adequate time to show a website? What is the duration, like in how much time should a website appear when someone enters the domain name? What is the what is the time which actually should be there when you open a website? Okay, I can see 2 to 3 seconds. So the right answer is 2 to 3 seconds, right? So it has to be, if it's less then superb. Like I'm not saying 1 second is also wrong, right? But the adequate time is your website should open in 2 to 3 seconds. So speed is a super important thing. You can check it with the help of the tool, right? GT metrics. So I'll just send you this tool across. Right, you have to enter your domain name over here. Let's start with amazon.in. Give your domain name, test your site. You can check anyone else's site as well. It's taking some time. Okay, so let it take some time. Let it go ahead with this. By the time we can utilize that thing, let it go over there. I'll come back to this. So apart from speed, what you guys can check, there is another tool in the speed section, which is Google's tool, which is page. One second. Page speed insight. So it's a tool by Google. It just tells you in percentage whether your website performance is good or not. So I'll enter the domain over here again and click on analyze.
It's 9 o'clock.
All right, so you can see the mobile version is 43. That means it is below the average. Average is 50, and if it's somewhere around 90 to 100, then it's performing perfectly fine. And what are the errors on the website? You can just check it with this tool as well. So there might be some coding related error, there might be some hosting error, there might be multiple errors which you can see over here, right? And same goes with this tool as well. So let's see if it has shown the performance. Yeah. So Amazon 10, you can see it is taking somewhere around 9.3 seconds, which is quite high, right? Again, it's an e-commerce website. We can't do anything, but they can improve this as well. So these are some why slow. These are their score, right? The page speed score, which I have just shown you. From the page speed insights, it's 53%. And why slow is like another brand which tells you about. It's a similar tool by just like GT Metrics, right? And these are the page size which it shows and the errors of the coding and all that stuff. You can just check each and everything with the help of tools as well. Yes, it differs on the browser. It depends on multiple things. I'll also tell you how you can improve the score of your website site speed as well. There are plenty of plugins in WordPress, which the help of that you can do this thing. So there is one plugin which will help you to increase the speed is this one, W3 total cache. Right, so I'll be helping you. This is a WordPress plugin again. It is used on WordPress website, right? W3 total cache. I'll be telling you how you can use this plugin. You can install it, but don't use it. I'll be telling you what all needs to be done in the settings part, because we have to activate, enable, disable few things when we are installing this plugin to improve the speed of our website. Then it will also help you as well to reduce the time which it takes to load a website. But that does not mean that this will totally help you out, because you're hosting, whether it is hosted on a maybe a shared server or maybe a dedicated server or a VPS cloud server. So it totally depends on the server as well. And there are multiple things how you are, which type of code you are using or which type of themes you are using and what all files you have on your website. So that depends on that as well, right? So there are plenty of things which needs to be taken care of, right? Because Google takes this seriously whether your speed is good or not, right? You need to focus it on this accordingly. Then mobile. So the latest update, mobile Gidon, right? There was an update by Google, right? Just you can call it the algorithm update, which I have shown you. There are plenty of updates which Google does. So what happens over here? Your website should be mobile optimized, right? This is the main and the major thing which you need to focus, whether your mobile is opening on different devices, mobile, tablet, or maybe a desktop, right? So mobile is the new trend because most of the people are opening up their website on mobile devices. So you guys have to focus on whether your website is opening properly with, like, it is dynamically opening according to the screen size, right? So it should be mobile optimized. Then you have to check your URLs as well. So URLs are basically the links, right? So the keywords which we have used, which we picked out for our SEO in the beginning from Google Ads, from the keyword planner tool, you have to use them in your URLs as well, right? So I'll be telling you when we will be doing it practically tomorrow. I'll be helping you how you have to utilize this URL thing and how you have to execute that, how a URL can make a change for your ranking as well. So these are some multiple small things. These are the checklists which you have to do, or maybe you have to improve whenever you are doing your on page SEO, right? I hope I am clear with this. Just type clear in your chat box. All right, superb. Right, so talking about URL in a better way, so let's go a bit technical about this SEO thing, and let's understand in a developer side point of view what I am talking exactly about: the URL structure, the site structure. What should be your site structure? What should be the thing which you guys need to focus here? Let me just shift it on the left. Yep. Yeah, now it's 1 second. It's not happening anyhow. Right, so talking or maybe understanding the URL site structure, site architecture. URL plays a important role in your site architecture. Yeah. So what should be a site structure? What Google wants, what other search engine wants when they are analyzing your site structure? The first thing when Google comes to your website is your home page. Homepage is the super important thing which Google checks in the first hand, because it has multiple internal links, which is like you are redirecting the user to maybe your blogs, maybe your pages, about us page, contact us page, or maybe any other thing on your website. So this is the base of your website. This is the first thing which Google checks. Under this home page, there are plenty of other things as well, like the category, right? So what do I mean by category? Then let's say you have a blog. Let's say take an example of a blog over here. So what do I mean by this category thing? Category, as I told you previously, that your site should be structured in a proper way. So one is category, then what exactly is category? Let's say my blog is related to fitness example, right? So fitness has multiple categories, whether you do yoga, whether you do maybe home gym, or maybe it could be multiple categories. So what Google wants, you should prepare your website with categories. So I'll just take an example, a live example in front of you guys. So let's take a blog, let's take Flipkart's blog. So Flipkart has a blog which is stories.flipkart.com. So we have several categories over here in front of you. These are the top stories. These are plenty of these are certain blogs in front of you. So let's go to any of the blog. Let's pick this one. So this is their blog. So again, over the top, these are the categories. So let's say I hover to top stories. These are some subcategories. So the top stories is the category which I am telling you, and under that category there are plenty of subcategories. So this should be the structure of your website, because this is the parameter which you can say from the search engine ends that this has to be there. Then again, under this subcategory there is another uh, deep link subcategory. So this flip tails is another deep link subcategory in front of you. So your site should be structured like this, so that anyone comes over here, they are having a good experience coming over here. So this is what Google wants. Your structure should be amazing. Your user experience, which is UX, should be great when someone comes to your website. The interface should be great when someone comes to your website. So this you have to do with every page, right? So category, subcategory. Then what you can do, you let's say you have let's say I'll talk about some blogs. You might have some category one, then you might have some category two. It should be structured in a proper way. Then maybe category three, it should be structured in a proper way. So under category one, you should have your blog. So under category 2 you should have another blog, under category 3 you should have another post. So we call a blog as a post as well. So under C1 should be your post related to that, under C2 should be your another post, and under C3 should be your post. So there is, see, you can see the structure. Under blog there is one category, then under that category you see some posts. So this is the structure which you guys have to maintain all the time when it comes to Google's algorithm update, right? Apart from that, how Google actually checks each and everything, how Google reads each and everything, they do it with the help of two things, right? You can actually give commands to them. Just one second, let me just shift this. Right. So talking about the commands, what exactly is commands? So we call it sitemap. Right. So there are two types of sitemaps. What is a sitemap? It is basically a site structure of your website. So there are two types of sitemaps. One is HTML, which is hypertext markup language, and the second one is XML. Right, so HTML is for human beings to read and listen and understand the site structure. For human, how your website is actually built is being done with the HTML thing. And what is XML? It is basically a sitemap for search engines to read the same thing which you have written, because any search engine, they can't read this HTML language. You have to convert that into XML file. So basically, just like if I take a layman example again, so let's say I saw a website related in Russia. So till the time, like that website, maybe it is in Russian language. Till the time I don't convert it in English or any other language which I know, I won't be able to read the website. Same goes with Google. They read the HTML thing, and if you don't convert it for them, then they won't be able to read it. So these are some basic things, sitemaps, which you guys have to focus when you are actually implementing this thing. Now, what actually happens? So the tool which we'll be using on our website already has the inbuilt algorithm to convert the HTML site or any other code site into the XML format, right? So we'll be using a tool over there. If we implement and execute each and everything, what will happen? It is basically readable for the website, for the website owner, the search engine as well, or maybe for the user as well. So these are the two sitemaps which will be digging it in a deeper way and will be understanding about the URL in a better way. So to make Google understand what is written on your website, you have to use sitemaps. The second thing is the commands which you are giving to Google. So we call it robots.txt command, right? The text commands which you give to Google, that I want this page to be crawled, I want that page to be crawled, I don't want this page to be crawled. You can give a negative command as well. So no follow, basically we call them no follow command. We and let's say I'll take an example. Let's say I am a mobile dealer, right? And let's say I have two companies in my bucket, which is Samsung and iPhone. So Samsung, I take the cell phone in a proper way. I buy it from a trusted reseller, right, in wholesale. But for iPhone, I use the gray market to get the iPhones. So what I want on Google, I don't want to highlight anything related to iPhone. What I can do, I can, the moment Google comes to my website to crawl every page, I can give a command with the help of this robot.txt to stop over there and don't read or rank that page, right? That can be done with the help of robot.txt command. So these are some simple normal text commands which you can give to Google to control whether you want to control the pages or not, and tell Google that this is the command and you have to crawl this page and you don't have to crawl that page, right? So this we can do with the help of this robot.txt command. Right, so I hope I'm clear with this. I hope you understand the basics of the URL structure. Just type clear in your chat box. Great, superb, superb, superb. Right, so one more thing. Lastly, in URL structure, the shorter the better. So these are some pointers which you have to focus when you are developing or designing your URL structure. The shorter it is, the better is your URL structure, right? Keep this in mind. Don't put your long tail keywords over there. This is what I mean, right? So as I said, you have to use the keywords in your URL. We'll be doing it practically tomorrow. What you have to focus over here, you should not execute, you should not like be put, like let's say I have keyword, I have a blog, 10 places to visit in Delhi, the same blog which I took as an example just a time ago. So I can't use the whole keyword on my URL, right? So it should be shorter, it should be crisp, and it should be easy for the search engine actually, right? So keyword use is important. Again, I also mentioned that use your keywords in your URL structure. Then what you can do, this is done by default, you don't have to use anything. You must use hyphens. So this is the basic thing which needs to be implemented in URL structure, which will intend help you get a better analysis and intend help you get a better. This is one of the part, right? So whatever I'm telling you, these are few metrics which becomes a huge thing, right? So if you don't follow these things, chances of coming on the first page are pretty much lower accordingly, right? So that's how this thing works. So for the page speed, I have already given you a couple of things which you have to take care in mind. We'll be discussing that in a deeper perspective. We'll be understanding that in a better way. But before that, those who have not connected with Search Console will be doing it right now practically. Then we'll be looking out for that later on. So what you guys have to do, you have to open up Search Console. Just go to Google, just mention Search Console over here, and you'll be able to land on this particular portal, Search Console. You have to click on this tool, Google Search Console. It's a tool by Google only. So it's a web service by Google to basically index the status to optimize the visibility of your website. In simple words, when your SEO is almost, you are just doing it in a proper way, or on page is done, you just have to submit your website so that Google can crawl your website, right? We have to invite Google on our website with the help of this tool. But beforehand, we have to connect this tool first, then only we'll be able to invite Google. So what you guys have to do, I'll pick it from fresh and I'll open it over here so that I can show you the full-fledged process of how you can connect this search console with your website. Let's click on the start now button. Just mention the email which you want to move ahead with. So in my case, let's pick this one, and next. So use the same ID everywhere. So you have to use your Gmail ID only, obviously. Right. Then the next thing which you guys have to do, you have to go to this second step, which is the URL prefix. Don't go with the first step. It is just being launched couple of time back. So use this URL prefix. You have to mention your domain name over here, right? So right now you have to mention it like this, HTTP, because our website is not secured. What is a secured website? You can see this. Just look at my address bar. You can see this S HTTPS. This is because of the SSL secure socket layer, right? It's a certificate for the security purpose, right? So we'll be talking about that because it is also super important in SEO, because nowadays if your website is not secured, it will show not secure over here and it will hamper your ranking as well. So I'll mention the website over here. So in my case, this website, softbulls.com, and click on continue. So it is just checking for verification, and you got some verification options in front of you. So these are 5 verification steps which will help you connect your website with Search Console, right? So now we'll be using any of these. You can pick any of these. I hope you all are having your WordPress website. Just type yes in your chat box. Uh, if somebody is saying no, then you might have missed the previous session, which is website designing. I hope everyone is having WordPress website. Okay, super. Right, so now let's connect this search console with our website. And how you have to do, we can use any of these, but the super easy thing over here to connect our website is this HTML tag. You just have to push this tag on the site's home page and your job is done. Just click on this arrow just beside this and just copy this code in front of you. Copy, if you click over here, it will copy the code. You just have to copy this code and you have to paste this. Where you have to paste this, it should go in the head section of your website, right? Now let's figure out where exactly is our head section. So let's go to the website. So just 1 second. Yep. So this is the search console. Oh, sorry, your WordPress console. You have to push that code which we copied on this website. So where do you have to do this? You have to go to the appearance section and you have to go to the theme editor. So appearance and theme editor, you have to click here and we are here. I click on I understand and on the right, so this is basically theme files which are there on your website. On the right side you can see all the theme files. So where do we have to paste this code? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? I just told you a moment ago in which section of the website do I have to paste this? Home page, and apart from that, where? Head section. Yeah, absolutely right. So we have to paste this code in the head section. Where is head section? This is the head section. Theme header, header.php. You have to click here, and on the left side you'll be able to see the code of your head section. So here's my head section and you have to figure out where is the header code. So here it goes. This is the opening head tag in front of you. You have to paste the code just under this. Don't paste anywhere else. Click over here, press enter, and a space will come. A space will appear and just paste the code over here, which I have copied from that website, that search console, and just click on the update file button. Right. So I'll repeat again. You have to copy this code, HTML tag code from here. You have to go to your WordPress, go to appearance, go to theme header. Then you have to click on the theme header or the header PHP file, and you have to go to this head section. This is the opening head tag. Press enter, make a space, and paste this code over here. And click on update file, and you are good to go with that. The next and the last step is just go back and click on this verify button. Once you click on verify button, this search console will be connected with your website and your job will be easy now. Now you will be able to submit your website to Google and Google will be able to crawl and index your website so that it can store each and every data of your website on their platform or their server. Right. I hope I am clear with the process. Just type clear in your chat box. Okay. I hope it is clear with everyone. Now I'm open to queries. If you are having any queries, you can just type it in the chat box. I'm open to queries. You can ask me your queries related to this, whatever we have discussed today, and maybe it could be some other topic related to digital marketing as well. Ronak, maybe you did it when you attended that session, because automatically it might not appear. Maybe you have used some other parameters to fulfill the connection, maybe some Google Analytics or any other thing. It might automate the process. Yes, Sugam, don't worry. Will be so in my website as well. Not secure is there, so don't worry about this. We'll be implementing the SSL. Yeah, so with analytics you did it. So we'll be implementing this SSL. Then it will work out, Sugam. We'll be doing that in the coming modules, upcoming modules of SEO. So primary, you can call it simply short tail keywords. Secondary are the, so these are differentiated in two aspects. Primary is your focus keyword, the main keyword. Secondary is your LSI keywords, which I told you in the last session. latent semantic keywords. So again, it is practically not possible, Ronak. Having a lot of search volume and zero competition, it's quite tough. But you can check that in Google Keyword Planner. They will like we did it last week, and we understood how you can get good amount of keyword analysis over there. So, Partha will be discussing about that practically tomorrow. I didn't pick up that topic because if I don't share or connect that practically, you will miss out on things. So that's the reason I'll be doing it practically about the title and description and etc. Okay, Ronak. Shrishti, low competition with high search volume. Absolutely right. So low competition and high search volume. So, but in SEO, what you have to do, uh, competition does not matter because you are not paying for anything, right? Competition is something like the more the advertisers are, you're not doing any advertisement, right? So just in Google Ads keyword planner, you just have to pick the average monthly search should be more, and your competition could be high as well, right? Because the more the competition, the better is the keyword, right? So that should be your thing to pick when you are choosing the keywords. Yeah. I request Uno just copy the text in the chat box. I request you can copy the text because I don't think so. These texts are like attached with the recordings. So I would appreciate if you copy the chat box. So notes again there are the things which I'm telling you practically, the tools and other things, they are not present in the notes, but obviously you can check out the content in the LMS. In the LMS you can download the presentations. We have discussed couple of things from there as well. We have completed from there and then. So these are the notes which will be covered. Right. So Nida, okay, so I'll be taking a separate session. We'll be having so DV support team will be helping you with the assignment. They have a separate team to analyze the assignment for that, so you don't have to worry. Yeah, so Sugam on assignment one, how to calculate primary, secondary, and long tail. So this is what I told you. Primary keywords are your focus keywords. Secondary keywords are your LSI keywords, long tail keywords. Primary is basically short tail keyword, the main keyword of that page, and secondary keywords are long tail keywords, or you can simply vice versa. Yeah, so Yogesh, I won't be able to share my contact number, but what I can help you with, I can share you my email. Just drop me an email if you have any queries. So you guys can drop me an email related to your queries, and I'll be happy to help you guys. Yes. So you have to analyze. It has to be calculated by you. We'll be talking about that in the content part. And I also discussed in the last session that how you will be able to calculate your short tail keyword, how you'll be able to calculate your long tail keywords. We already discussed that. So good. Ronak, hidden keywords are basically some negative keywords which you add them. So I'll be talking about that in the it's basically a hidden text thing. Yep, right. So we'll be discussing it practically when we'll be implementing our SEO tomorrow. Yep. So I request you all, I hope the session was good. Yeah, mind map. Right. So mind map is basically the structure of doing SEO, architecture of doing SEO. That is your mind map. This the structure which I told you, how you are actually proceeding with on page, off page optimization. That will be your mind map. The things which you have to do, the content part, the architecture, the HTML part is your mind map. Right. So I hope the session was good. I hope you liked the session. Okay, great. Superb. So perfect, perfect, great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Just do one thing. Thank you, everyone. Just I have shared a link. It will like help me as well and help you as well. So just share your feedback in this link, and thank you all for giving your time. And I appreciate that you really like this session. Thanks a lot. And we'll be continuing our session tomorrow as for the time being. So great, great. So I request you all to share your feedback. It will boost me up with your feedback. I appreciate that. Just on this link, please share your feedback. And we'll be continuing everything tomorrow. And tomorrow's session is important. Do attend it. Obviously, you're gonna do that. All right. So just please give your feedback. I'm just waiting. Once you're done, just type done. Great, great. And one more thing, there is one task for you all for tomorrow. Just analyze your website, just check your website speed in GT metric page speed tool. Just try to start preparing content for your website now, because we'll be implementing that. Try to create a wireframe, understand that these are my pages, these are the things which I have to focus, and you have to implement that in a better way, right? To just move ahead with content. Keywords will be incorporating, will be understanding about the keywords thing, how you will be using those keywords on your website. We'll be doing it practically tomorrow. Okay, so just connect with Divi support team. So just they have the number, just email them that whatever queries you have, they will pass on, and your queries will be sorted. Okay, and I hope everyone has filled out the form which I have shared. Just type done once you're done. Great, great, great. All right. It was a great session with you all. So see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.